Hi everyone, welcome to my studio. In this video, we'll be sharing image annotations for my Alchemised book, and this is part 2. I have shared part 1 already and I will be sharing part 3 shortly. If you haven't read the book, or at least part 1 and part 2, save this video and come back later because this video will contain spoilers. Okay, so let's get into part 2. Okay, so first picture is just of Helena in her uniform and Cain. He still has his brown hair, but a bit of silver is peeking through. Page 281 or chapter 22 is just Helena in her uniform. Page 282 is an image of Lila. Page 290, another image of Lila. Page 308, I have this overlay of Soren, Lila and Luke. Next scene is described on page 310, just at the bottom, going into page 311 at the top, and is just a picture of Helena in her uniform covered in blood. Page 312, and is just a picture of the amulet that Ilva gifted to Helena. Next picture is on page 322, is just an image of Helena wearing a hood, and it describes it just on the highlighted area. Page 323, and it's just Helena and Cain meeting for the first time in part 2. Page 399 is the first time we see the arrow carved onto Cain's back. Page 411, I have this overlay of Helena healing Cain. Page 413 is the scene where Helena broke the amulet and she used the silver substance to heal Cain. Page 451 is Helena healing Cain. Page 454 is the scene where Helena finishes healing Cain and they're just in the bunker and is asking her to stay. They're having a drink on her sofa. Page 457 is the scene where Helena is telling Cain to put the shirt on because he must be cold. He's grabbing her hand and putting it on his chest and asking, "Do I feel cold?" Page 460 is the first kiss in part 2. Page 464 is Helena and Cain the day after, and this image is perfect for the scene highlighted just over here. Page 511 is an image of Lila and Luke. Page 568 is the scene where Helena and Cain are training and Cain is waiting for Helena to betray him. Page 571 is the scene where they've just been intimate. Page 577 is the scene where Cain is opening up to Helena and he's crying on her shoulder. Page 635, I have this overlay of Cain dressed as a high reeve coming to rescue Helena. Page 636 and 637 is still the scene where Cain came as a high reeve to rescue Helena because she came with the group to rescue Luke. Page 651 is the scene of Luke and Lila having an intimate moment after Luke was rescued. Page 660, I have these two images of Cain kissing Helena. Page 668 is the image of Cain and Amaris when she was little. It describes it just over here. Page 759 is an image of Spirefell. Page 775 is the scene of Cain, Helena and Amaris on the rooftop. Page 813, I have this overlay of Helena and Luke when he was dying. This is the end of part 2. I will be updating my book as and when new images come out, and I will be sharing that on my Instagram page. If you would like to see that, follow me along there. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope to see you in part 3.